What's going on, everybody? It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery and
CJ the Smart Guy.
And we are Genius and Smart Guy here with another episode bringing you all things politics, culture, technology, and especially and particularly crypto. Crypto is the way, my brother. But we're here, man. We've been on this journey talking about a number of different issues, but particularly crypto. Yeah. And it's crazy how crypto goes out into all these other areas of life, right? But I feel like one of the conversations that we need to be having is we need to be diving a little bit more deeper into, I don't know, do you feel like there's a political divide?
Oh, major. There's a major political divide when it comes to crypto, and also community divide. Some things I think are done intentionally, some things I think are accidental. So for instance, I got into crypto as a necessity because the bank closed my accounts. And so I was forced to figure out a way to move my money without going through a bank because the banks had closed my money. So it was by necessity. And when you talk to a lot of the wealthier people, they're like, why would I ever need crypto? And the bank takes perfect care of me. And so I think you have a separation between the working class that's struggling versus the elite class, because the elite class, the system's not broken for them.
Yeah.
It's broken for the working class. I think in Black America in the 70s and the 80s, there were a lot of families that would save enough money for their firstborn to go to college, and they may not have the money for the rest of the kids. And the idea was that those kids were going to go to college, and then once they made some money, got a job, they'd come back and then help build up the family, build up the city. And a lot of times those kids would go get the money and they'll be like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And so I think there was an emotional divide between some of the college kids who may have looked down on the uneducated, as well as some of the uneducated but working class looked down on the college kids because it's like, you're not even getting your hands dirty and you never came back. And I was here with mama while she was struggling and you didn't get to witness any of that because you were too busy with your college friends.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that, and I think crypto plays a role. My question for you, because I know that we're both from California.
Yep.
There were no HBCUs in California.
Yep.
So I wasn't aware of any. But later on, I'm finding out that you're a Sigma, which is a college fraternity. How are you dealing with graduating as college educated and then going back to people who may not even understand what a Sigma is, and how are you able to cope with that? And are you still a Sigma?
What you mean? I want to make sure I understand the coming back to people. Help me understand.
Going back to California. They may not have been exposed to HBCU life or fraternity life, because in California, especially Southern California, their experience with colors and signs and things like that is more street organizations, gang affiliated, and not college associated. So for instance, Kappas, they wear red.
Yep.
They throw up a diamond.
Yep.
And they wear Phillies hats.
Yep.
You could take that same exact outfit, go to LA, and it'd be considered wearing red for Bloods, throwing up a B for blood, and wearing a P for Pyru. Literally the same outfit means something completely different in two locations. So how are you able to deal with that?
The funny part is when I pledged, I was in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I came through Phi Beta Sigma, damn good Delta Gamma chapter at Cal LA in fall of 2007.
Okay.
It was something that I held with a lot of pride being a member, not so much being a Sigma, but being part of damn good DG. That's how we were known in my heyday, being known as DG. And it was the smooth brothers of the damn good Delta Gamma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. It was a very instrumental part of my life because most people pledge fraternities like in their earlier years of college, like the first 2, maybe even 3 years of college. But because I started college at 14, I started at Cal LA at 14, I didn't pledge until my senior year of college.
How old were you then?
I was 18.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was 18. I was 18 when I pledged. And yeah, I was 18 when I pledged because I graduated that next October. So I started my pledge process September or October of 2007.
Okay.
And then I graduated October of 2008.
Nice.
So, and I was an engineering major. So my senior year was actually like my I pledged basically at the end of my 4th year of college, my senior year of college, before I went into my super senior year of college.
Yeah.
It was a very instrumental time for me because that was me volunteering for something that I knew was going to be difficult, that I knew, it had its own. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and the Damn Good Delta Gamma chapter is a non-pledging, non-hazing organization. So there's an initiation that occurs, and in that initiation, your mental and physical toughness is tested.
Yeah.
And when you go through that process, you come out a changed person. And the initiation process is designed to, in some ways, break you down and build you back up. That's what I experienced. Not everybody has the same experience that I had. And particularly, I was joining the chapter more than I was joining the entire organization. If my chapter, the brothers that were in my chapter, if they were alphas, I would have been an alpha. If they were kappas, I would have been a kappa. I was interested in those organizations because before I knew anything about sigmas, I was cool with most of the guys that were already sigmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about the fraternity. I didn't know anything about that. I was just this 14, 15-year-old kid that would always say what's up to them, and they would say what's up back to me. As I went through the process, it was in some ways, some fraternities get a bad look, but I'll just say from California, because we're so influenced by gang culture,
Yeah.
that permeates the same way gang culture permeates through the music. There's aspects that I would say to it in that you don't want anybody disrespecting your letter. You're willing to fight over it. And if somebody is claiming that they're a Sigma or something like that, or claim something else, and you haven't been through the process, like, you about to have a hard day, bro.
Yeah.
Now, is it as bad as gang culture? No, but the elements of that you went through something in order to earn and wear those letters.
Yeah.
That's something that's not just given, it's literally earned. Now, the fraternity has served me well in some aspects because I pledged my last year of college and I got 1 year of being able to have college fraternity life, and then I went to start working.
19, right?
At 19, my daughter was also born. The crazy part about it, my daughter was literally conceived on the night that I crossed.
Wow. And it's at 19.
She was born when I was 19.
Wow.
I went basically straight into adulthood soon after,
Real
right?
early, yeah.
I was working for the U.S. Navy, so I couldn't necessarily hang out and party and do all those kinds of things. I did, but I was living in Oxnard at the time, and I would have to drive from Oxnard to Cal State LA or to LA in order to do anything.
That's like an hour and a half drive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Imagine having to, Thursday events are hard to make. Friday events are easier.
Yeah.
But just think about, like, if something starts at 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm dead in the middle of traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that put a damper on my activities outside of that. It became less and less important to me the more that I matured and the older that I got and the more involved I got with different things. But the fraternity helped me out, and that bond helped me out when I went to Southern University for law school.
Yeah.
And that was in 2013. So I crossed in 2007. And in 2013, because I was a Sigma, like, people opened up their arms. I literally I drove from California to Louisiana, to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in my car by myself. It was like a 3-day trip.
Yeah.
I made it a 3-day trip, right?
At least 11.
11 miles by myself. I made it a 3-day trip. I made a stop to see my auntie in Austin, and then push from Austin all the way to Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah.
That was a trek, right? I got in at 2:30 something in the morning, first day of class.
Yeah. Wow.
First day of class, 2:30 something in the morning. Tired, right?
Yeah.
I get to class. I didn't even have housing.
Oh, man.
That's how committed I was. Like, I'm going to figure it out when I get here. When I got there, I went over to the Sigma plot, and there were some Sigmas out there, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to law school. I don't have housing. They were like, oh, one of the sorors, she's head of housing. I had housing the next day, bro.
Yeah,
so
that quick.
It's had benefits, right? It's had benefits. But now that I have dived deeper in my Christian journey, right, I start to think more about some of the oaths that I took as a Sigma. We believe in everything that Phi Beta Sigma represents, and we will herald it and defend it, even against the world. Sigmas are known as the sons of fire and brimstone. What does fire and brimstone represent?
Talk to me.
Right? So fire and brimstone, when you think of fire and brimstone, you think of destruction, you think of hell.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't see it that way because the founders, Abraham Langston Taylor, Leonard Francis Morris, and Charles Ignatius Brown, one of them was a preacher.
Correct.
But we don't realize how in some of the oaths that we take in these Black fraternal organizations actually separate you from God. With the same mouth that you say, I believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins and that I'm dedicating my life to Jesus, how can you make an oath?
Yeah.
How can you make an oath to somebody, to another organization?
Yeah, because I guess that's similar to like a street organization to some degree.
Yeah.
Because I was a part of a money organization growing up, and I sold candy, but not everybody sold candy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Everybody had their own unique way of making their money. We just supported each other. And there were always times where somebody would say, hey, let's go do this. And your spirit would be like, oh, no, I ain't doing that.
Yep.
And then it's like the group is, oh, no, yeah, we're going to do this because we put this above everything else.
Yep.
And it's like God or a group. And so it sounds like that's like your spiritual journey right now, is that exact moment where it's like, what do I do?
It's not that I've had to choose the fraternity over God, but it was anytime that there's any apprehension, I started hearing about the denouncing of letters, like the last year or so. And I didn't think nothing of it, but I was like, why would I have an issue denouncing my letters, right? Does that take away my experience? No, it doesn't take away my experience. Does it take away my growth? No. But why would I feel friction, right? As I told you, I gave up marijuana, I gave up alcohol, right? And it was like, thank you.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
That wasn't an issue for it, but why is this?
Yeah.
Why is there some friction with me wanting to do that? And what did that experience mean to me? Like, I had a lot of fun in college, fun and debauchery.
Yeah. No drinking though, because you weren't 21.
Of course. Court records will tell you something different. The crazy part is I got a DUI 11 days before my 21st birthday.
Oh, man. That's unfortunate, man. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, underage drinking is bad, y'all.
Don't do it.
Don't drink and drive either. But yeah, there was some resistance there. And the thing is because when I joined, I was joining a brotherhood and I was joining a family. So it's like, for me, I don't wear letters. I used to throw up the hooks and everything, and I don't do that now. As I dove deeper into my spiritual journey, recognizing like certain hand gestures and certain signs mean things. And now being more cognizant, more sensitive to those things. Now, do I love my brothers? Absolutely, right? I love my brothers, especially I love my chapter. DG, it was like DG to the death of me, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm coming into more understanding, and like I said, it has to deal with a lot of the oaths that were taken and a lot of the processes. You get buried in sand, you die, the old man dies, and you rise a new person.
But if God made you the way that you were, why would you want to kill that original person?
You see what I'm saying? You're crossing the burning sands, and what does that represent? So I'm getting more information about it, but it's just been an interesting journey. It's been an interesting journey for me. And now where I'm at in this journey is you don't really see too many men denouncing the organization, but yeah, there were some great life lessons that I learned that I still keep with me today. I volunteered for some hard stuff. Yeah. So I'm prepared for whatever life will throw at me.
So if somebody were to call you a Sigma today, is that accurate?
If somebody were to call me a Sigma today, I would say I'm formally a member of Phi Beta Sigma.
Got you.
I was a Sigma.
Got you.
Yeah.
And now
I'm Dr. Jamar Montgomery.
There you go.
I'm Dr. Jamar Montgomery, the prophet, Dr. Jamar Montgomery, the educator, Dr. Jamar Montgomery, the husband, Dr. Jamar Montgomery, the father.
Yeah. And that's a blessing, man. I know a lot of people, so, I'm from Southern California as well. I know a lot of people that were in the street organizations, and as they get older, they want to make sure that their kids are never a part of those things because of what they went through. But they come to that conflict of, I'm still like this, but I don't want you to be like this.
Yeah.
Similar to like how Cardi B, she'll make all the music, but then at the same time, she'll say, I don't want my daughter to listen to that. Megan Thee Stallion, I don't want my daughter to listen to that.
Yep.
That means there's something inside of you that knows what you're doing is not in line with your spirit, but you still do it for some other reason. And now the hypocrisy starts to begin to show. And what you're saying is, hey, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. This is exactly where I'm going to go. And this is who I am. So I congratulate you on that growth and that maturity.
Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And so from a crypto perspective, when you talk to any of your brothers about crypto, how are they feeling considering that they're part of this group that gets along? You're Dr. Montgomery now, so, do they listen to you, or they just say, oh, you're my brother, I don't listen?
A prophet is without honor in his own house.
Yeah. The Bible says something like that when Jesus went to Galilee and they basically said, hey, you're not.
And for me is my goal is to let people know about crypto. Anybody that knows me knows I have been the crypto guy, been talking about crypto. They know that for years.
Yeah.
For years. Shout out to Chuck, aka Todd Billionaire. Even though he disagreed with me on Bitcoin, he showed up to my events.
Okay.
That I had on Bitcoin. Charles, I told you. But shout out to Charles. But yeah, I'm here to provide the information, and it's one of the reasons why I've been making sure to be loud, because there are people who think that they know and really don't. And then there's people who are scamming people.
Correct.
So my thing is, how dare I keep my mouth shut when all these people who either don't know what they're talking about or are scamming people are loud.
Yeah. And do you consider your brothers to be more of the working class or more of the elite?
Now, that's very interesting, because you can be highly educated and you be part of the intellectual elite, but not necessarily be part of the economic elite.
Correct. There's a big difference.
It's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes we expect that if you're economically elite, that you're also part of the intellectual elite.
Yeah.
And that's not always true.
And if you're an education elite, you expect it to be financial.
And that's not always true. Right? I would consider that most of the brothers are doing well for themselves. I would hope when you find out just how many Americans are only making $70,000, $80,000 a year, and especially in California,
correct.
Cost of living is way higher.
Yeah.
It just puts a different perspective. But I would hope that, I know a few of them that are doing quite well for themselves.
Yeah.
I had a brother that I think is still open at a State Farm insurance agency. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're doing well.
That's what I've witnessed mostly, is the people that are doing fine, they don't grasp it as much as the people that are struggling. There are some people who are dedicated towards finance as a whole, that they hop on it because they're looking at it in terms of ROI, like return on their investment. Yeah. But the average person who's doing well in life, they tend to not grasp it. But like when I go into these prisons and I talk about Bitcoin, the amount of excitement that they have, the amount of research that they do, the questions that they have, I wouldn't mind teaching at prisons about Bitcoin on a daily basis, just because they gravitate. But I would never want to teach at a college in terms of Bitcoin in 2024, because these kids don't even care about their learning. They're just there to get a degree, to do whatever their parents told them to do, or whatever they got to do to get to the next level. I feel like a lot of them they don't take their lives in their own hands. And I feel like a lot of them, they just do what they're told or what they think that are right. And I don't think they even do like what's in their best interest a lot of times. And it's like, I think that moves over into like parties, like Democrat and Republican, where are you really voting for your own self-interests, or are you voting for entity in your whatever organization that you are? And I'm seeing a lot of the Democrats, that's like a real thing where I'm like, so how's the Democratic Party benefiting you? And a lot of them don't have too many answers. Yeah. They just say,
Trump bad.
Trump's bad. We don't like that.
Republicans racist.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, but have you financially benefited? Have you life-wise benefited from this party? Or are you just doing what you've been told to do? What is your thought process? And I like the fact that you took your own life in your own hands and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is who I am. I'm going to continue to teach you guys if you're willing to listen. Chuck came through, went to your event, whether they listen or not, you're influencing people because you are taking matters into your own hands.
And you might actually meet Chuck at InvestFest. Chuck was one of the financial influencers that was teaching people how to trade options.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Chuck is legit.
Okay.
He's legit. Yeah, Chuck is legit. But you bring up a great point about people being loyal to something that no longer serves you.
Correct.
And that's a good question. From the perspective of being loyal to an organization like Phi Beta Sigma, does it still serve me? Does it still align with my interest that now, as a 35-year-old professional entrepreneur, international speaker, does it align with that? Maybe not. As a Christian, no, it doesn't. So now the question that Black folks should be asking themselves is, does giving your loyalty to the Democratic Party serve our interests? And if you want to vote Democrat, fine. If you want to vote Republican, fine. But are you loyal to a party and getting something as a result of that loyalty?
Correct.
You know, the thing about the guys who street organizations that took the fall for somebody and didn't get taken care of.
Yeah. For one, Jay Stone, shout out Jay Stone. Jay Stone was Nipsey's right-hand man. He went to jail several times, but now that Nipsey's passed, he's basically the king of LA when it comes to rap South Central area. And it's one of those things where for one Jay Stone, how many people are still in prisons for taking a rap or not talking on certain things? How you took that oath, you did the quote unquote right thing. You didn't say anything, but now you got 20 to life. And somebody else who is guilty is living their best life, forgetting all about you. They might be on yachts and maybe they're not sending you money. It's one of those things where maybe if they're sending you commissary, maybe they're coming to visit. That's one thing. But a lot of times they're forgotten about. Those are questions I think everybody should ask themselves before they join a fraternity or a street organization.
Or a political party. Because I feel like Black folks have been, that their vote has been taken for granted from the Democratic Party. And they will put that look like us, but are not controlled by us.
Yeah.
So it's fine if you have somebody that looks like me and is controlled by me, but somebody that look like me so that I can join in with you, but is controlled by somebody else to do their agenda, not my agenda.
Yeah.
And Black folks, it was just a little of political immaturity, because in reality, we allow somebody else to select our candidates for us, instead of we selecting the candidates and then we electing those candidates. We allowed literally somebody else, we allowed the Democratic Party, Black folks, allowed the Democratic Party to select Kamala Harris for us. And not saying that she isn't qualified, but the entire Democratic Party did not even go through a primary process to select this particular person. It was the Democratic leadership and the Democratic leadership and the influential donors that made that choice for the entire Democratic Party. So what Black folks should be having their eye on is, if they will do it to the greater nation, look what they'll do to you.
Correct.
And I caught a lot of heat about like my criticisms of Kamala Harris. And they're like, what about Trump? And the thing is, I'm expecting Trump to be Trump.
Correct.
I think people are expecting Kamala Harris to be a savior for Black folks. And they're trying to utilize the Obama effect of this icon of someone who carried out an agenda that there were communities who got way more benefit. Black folks, like the LGBT community, got a lot of benefits from the Obama administration, specifically. And you're able to do that when you're selecting your candidate, when you're electing your candidate. And in electing your candidate, you're making sure that your candidates got campaign donations. You're well funded. A politician's first job is to get elected.
Correct.
And so if they're making it easier for you to do your job, and they're funding you to make sure to do that, then, but the thing is that's not how it's marketed to Black folks.
Yeah.
It's marketed as, hey, look, someone like you that looks like you.
Yeah.
So obviously, if they look like you, they have the same interests.
Yeah.
They believe in police brutality. They believe that all this, but that's not what actually happens.
Yeah.
Like when you think about Obama called the protesters in Ferguson criminals and thugs.
Correct. Doesn't sit well with me.
You know what I mean? That doesn't, and this was a president I voted for.
Correct.
You know what I
Same
mean?
here.
So the thing is that, like we talked the other day, it's okay to be biased, just be objective.
Correct.
The Black are expecting one thing out of Kamala Harris, to be the savior, to be the end all be all for Black folks. You can't be, it's difficult to be everything to everybody. Somebody's going to lose. Who should be the end all be all for? Black people, women, and immigrants.
Correct. And Asian. Yeah.
But we know that the Asian, that's the interesting.
They've kind of already been taken care of under the Biden administration.
Did you know that 70% of all H-1B visas come from India?
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised.
And nothing against like people getting visas and things like that. What I'm saying is that she's got multiple communities to answer to who are putting big money behind her.
Yeah.
And I think that Black women specifically are like, she's a Black woman, so she's going to look out for us. But Black women make up a small percentage of overall women.
Correct.
And then with the immigrant community, are Black women going to be able to outraise the immigrant community, particularly the Indian community?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? If I did the research on it, the median income for Indian families is like $120,000 or $160,000.
Because they're in that tech money, but a lot of them.
Tech, medicine, and finance.
Yeah.
Those are communities that are well funded.